Have you ever wondered where the largest amphibious assault in the Pacific War took place during World War II? Picture this: Okinawa, the largest of the Ryukyu's islands, lying a mere 350 miles from mainland Japan. Its strategic importance was heightened by its 4 airfields, making it a tantalizing target for the Americans. This set the stage for the Battle of Okinawa, codenamed Operation Iceberg. The Battle of Okinawa, a crucial turning point in the Pacific War, unraveled right here. The stage was set for Operation Iceberg on April 1, 1945. A day etched in history when the largest amphibious assault in the Pacific War was launched. An audacious invasion, not merely by the sheer number of forces involved, but also by the enormity of its strategic implications. U.S. forces, in their thousands, began their assault on Okinawa, the largest of the Ryukyu's islands, a mere 350 miles from mainland Japan. This was no random choice of battleground. Okinawa was a prized jewel with its 4 airfields, a strategic advantage that the Americans were keen to control. These airfields were not just patches of land, they were the key to supporting tactical and strategic air operations, the lifeblood of the war in the Pacific. A chess game of extraordinary proportions was unfolding, with each move carrying the weight of the world. The stakes were high, the forces were ready, the Battle of Okinawa had begun. Opening. The battle unfolded with unprecedented brutality and devastation. As the American forces advanced, the resistance they encountered was nothing short of fierce. The Japanese forces, determined to defend Okinawa at all costs, dug into the island's rugged terrain, setting up a network of fortified caves, tunnels, and bunkers. The island became a battleground of intense close-quarters combat, with neither side willing to give an inch. The U.S. forces faced a formidable opponent in the Japanese, who fought with unwavering resolve, often resorting to suicidal tactics. Kamikaze pilots plunged their aircraft into American ships. Human torpedoes launched themselves at landing crafts, and soldiers charged headlong into enemy fire. This was a battle that tested the mettle of even the most hardened soldiers. The casualties were staggering. The U.S. forces lost over 12,000 men, while the Japanese fatalities were estimated to be around 110,000. The cost was high, and the toll it took on the men who fought was incalculable. The brutality of the fighting left a lasting impression on the survivors, many of whom carried the scars of Okinawa with them for the rest of their lives. The fighting also took a heavy toll on the island's civilian population. Trapped in the crossfire, many Okinawans lost their lives. The exact numbers remain disputed, but it's believed that as many as 150,000 civilians may have perished during the battle. The Battle of Okinawa was a grim testament to the ferocity of war. It was a clash of wills between two nations, each determined to fight to the bitter end. The combat was fierce, the losses were heavy, and the scars were deep. But despite the high cost, the battle played a crucial role in the Pacific War, providing the U.S. with a strategic base for their final push towards mainland Japan. Closing. The Battle of Okinawa was far from a swift victory. It was a grueling and costly fight. After 82 days of relentless combat, the Battle of Okinawa reached its climax. The final stages of this colossal conflict were nothing short of extraordinary. As the month of June rolled in, the United States and Japanese forces were locked in a bitter struggle. The island of Okinawa, the largest of the Ryukyu Islands, was the stage for this brutal dance of war. The strategic importance of this location, with its 4 airfields, could not be understated. The American forces knew that securing Okinawa would be a pivotal moment in the Pacific War. The Japanese forces fought with a ferocity that was as admirable as it was fearsome. Every inch of land was contested, every strategic point was a fortress. But the American forces, backed by their unrivaled naval and air power, were relentless in their advance. Despite the heavy losses on both sides, the United States was slowly but surely gaining ground. On June 22nd, after over 2 months of intense fighting, the United States finally secured Okinawa. The largest amphibious assault in the Pacific War, codenamed Operation Iceberg, had been a success. The American flag flew high over Okinawa, signaling the end of the battle. The Battle of Okinawa had ended, but its impact was far from over. The enormous casualties and the devastating destruction would force military planners to reconsider their strategies, leading to a decision that would forever change the course of history. The echoes of the Battle of Okinawa reverberated far beyond its shores. The final act of this gruesome theater had left an indelible mark on the world, its impact echoing through the halls of military strategy and global politics. The blood-soaked beaches of Okinawa had witnessed an unimaginable scale of human tragedy, a spectacle of destruction that forced military planners to reassess their next move. The casualties were enormous, the brutal fighting relentless. The American forces, despite their victory, were left reeling from the intensity of the conflict. The sheer scale of loss and devastation painted a terrifying picture of what a full-scale invasion of Japan would entail. The prospect of repeating the horrors of Okinawa on an even grander scale was a chilling prospect that no one was ready to face. Faced with the daunting task of ending the war, the American military strategists had to make a decision that would forever alter the course of history. The Battle of Okinawa had laid bare the cost of conventional warfare, and in the process, had paved the way for a new, more horrifying form of destruction, the atomic bomb. The experiences and lessons from Okinawa played a significant role in the decision to drop atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The hope was that the sheer destructive power of these weapons would force Japan into surrender, thus avoiding the anticipated bloodshed of a full-scale invasion. The decision was not made lightly. It was a choice born out of desperation, a last-ditch effort to end a war that had already claimed far too many lives. The atomic bombs, devastating as they were, represented a way to bring about a swift conclusion to the conflict. Thus, the Battle of Okinawa became a pivotal moment in history, altering the course of World War II and shaping the world as we know it today.